They could say that about me. Tell me the one that's much better, because I haven't shopped for one. I would hate to leave the guy because my heart goes out to people that work really hard, and he works really hard. And when there's a problem, he's always there. That's the truth. He's very responsive. But there are issues. But look, there's issues with us too. Give me 1 second. I agree, Calvin. I agree. He needs some major updates. He needs some major updates. Maybe it's not his only job for all I know. I don't know enough about it. So we've got Canada CPI this morning. Last month, it didn't move. It moved like 7 ticks. It is a trap trade. It's not a good breakout trade. And the reason it's a problem is because sometimes it just doesn't reverse. So, so you think if you log in before me that it creates issues? That's interesting. So my stream has started. Let me just go over to my laptop. Okay, so Canada CPI. We have a DMM for it. The DMM doesn't show a lot of activity. It's not terrible what shows on the DMM, but it's not great. I mean, look, it's terrible. Uh, it's just got not enough movement. I think ultimately I've shrunk the tiers. I have shrunk the tiers. So if we don't get a 15 tick move, we're going to get canceled. All right? If we don't get a 15 tick move, we're going to get canceled. So my feeling about this report is it's not all that dangerous. It doesn't stop out a lot. It probably will either fill or it won't. If it fills, it'll work. That's my gut feeling. So we've got a trap trade. We're going to trigger at 8:29.55. The stop is 25 ticks. It's $5 a tick on Canada. Tier 1 is 15. Tempted to make it 12. I'm going to make it 12. I want to get filled. Let me just think for 1 second.
In 10 minutes time now at 8:15 a.m. Eastern Time, we get the US ADP weekly employment change. The prior was 6.5K.
I think if we get filled, it's going to make money. So I'm going to do 12 and 25 with a stop of 25. Labeled trap. That's all you need to know is trap. And I'm trading an extra position at tier one, at position one. If it works, I want to make a few dollars. It's only $5 a tick, and it might only move 15 ticks. I'll trade it in a prop account that's a good prop account. I'm not going to trade it funded, but I'm not trading it in a useless account either.
Redfin reports that US home prices crept up 0.3% in January.
So 829.55 on the trigger. Position one, I'm trading two. Position two, I'm trading one contract. And then we've got a tier of 12 and a tier of 25 and a stop of 25. Choose the account you're trading it in, apply it, okay it. When you turn on your trap trade, check your buttons at the top of the chart. Make sure you can see the cancel and the combine button. BE, close, adjust, cancel, combine. BE is break even. If you're in profit, you can always move the stop to break even. Close the trade, adjust the tiers. We don't currently use that feature. Cancel the outer tier. We use that all the time in trap trades. If you get a trade that only fills one order, one side of the orders, and only one of them, it's only going to fill one side. But if it fills one order and not both, it's going to leave an order in the way of your stop being moved to safety if that's the way you like to manage a trade. Okay? So sometimes you have to cancel the outer tier when you're certain the reversal has taken place. Okay? Now, 8:15, we do have the ADP weekly news. Now, I wish someone knew enough about New Zealand and milk. There is a trade at 10 o'clock. I've been saying it for 10 years. I don't know what instrument. The Global Dairy Trade Price Index with the milk auctions. Somewhere out there is a trade, some sort of a grain trade, and I don't know what it is. I think years ago someone once told me, and I never looked into it. Now, we've tried to set up a trade for the weekly gold, and it's very inconsistent, so we're just going to watch it. For fun, I can put a breakout on. It's useful to put a breakout on. I'll tell you why. In Sim, I might have a template. It's useful to do a test because we gather data. In the old days, I did hundreds of replays before I knew better. When I first worked here, and I didn't know what was going on. Before Chantal worked here. 8:14. Anyway, I used to do replays. I didn't do the ruler and looking at spikes. I didn't know what a spike sheet was. So I'm going to create a 15 bracket, a target of 8, and a target of 30, a stop of
In 5 minutes time now at
25
8:15
on
a.m.
gold.
Eastern time, we get the US ADP weekly employment
I'm going to
change. The
trigger
prior was 6.5K.
8:14.59, and it's Sim, okay? I have no idea. We have no idea what's viable on this report these days. We've looked, and there's no consistency at the moment. So we'll gather data. Put a 0 in the activation just to check our brackets. Charts on sim.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
Let me get rid of gold. Its usual volatile self. Getting rid of the vertical line, and then 814. You know, part of the problem is the small bracket. The bracket we need is not big enough. That's the problem. Our bracket has to be fairly small, we think, on this report. And I think as I'm watching gold, I'll put a reverse continue. I put a reverse continue. I almost have a reverse continue on every gold chart that I'm ever watching. I've blown up more accounts messing with gold than any other instrument. Way more than natural gas, which is the reason I learned about news trading. 35 ticks target, 35 stop on my reverse continue. And right now my gold is on sim just because that's where my chart is. And I think I'm pretty sure I programmed the reverse continue into the magnet this morning. So it's very tough to have a bracket when you get a candle that bursts 43 ticks. That's the danger of a gold breakout in these markets. You could just be sitting there, nothing's happening. There's really no news, right? And you get a burst of 43 ticks in it. If it happens the moment you put your orders on the chart, it ruins your trade. Wise Pubs. Trade room software? That's what you think it's called, Calvin? Okay. After gold, after the ADP, I'll show you a couple of Canada CPI trades.
So we're shortly expecting the US ADP weekly employment change.
Robert Duvall passed away, not young, 90-something years old. One of the greatest actors of our lifetime, Godfather. Oh my God, was he incredible. People loved him in Lonesome Dove. That was not one of my favorite Duvall movies, but Apocalypse Now. He was in so many great movies. Great, great actor. 90, I think he was 95. No way am I going to get to 95. I'd be surprised if I got to 75. So we're going to watch and see.
Order submitted.
There's our orders.
Weekly ADP 10 spot 25k, 10 spot 25k.
Okay, the news is out. And to me, that's a non-news response. That's a no-news response. I would cancel that. I would cancel it.
Order canceled.
The news came out 10 seconds ago, and it was not a response to the news. All right? It was 10.25, and gold's trending down. You could have a random downward trend. Okay, now you have the gold open at 820. You have the gold open at 820. I do not have a setup for the gold open at 820 at the current time. Now look, if you just left that trade on, it worked and you made a bunch of money. But I do not believe that gold is responding to that news. That's a whole different issue. If you're willing to just put a trade on and let the trend be your trade, sometimes you can do that. So the gold open, we've tried a variety of different things. We have tried a variety of different things. We've tried a breakout on the gold open. My
According to an
favorite
immigration spokesperson,
is the
EU stands ready
range.
to call an
The
emergency
gold
oil coordination
open
group meeting over supplies to Hungary and Slovakia.
is the range. So changing the breakout to a range. Let me show you what I would try, what I've tried on gold open. So changing to a range. I'm ending the range at 819. Actually, I want to end the range at 820. One position for 10 ticks, one position for 40 ticks, a 35 tick stop. And I'm doing this in sim because I haven't been doing this trade. And we're just going to call it GC open. All right. GC open. And I'm going to start the range. I just want a 30-second range. So I want 8, 19, 30. All right. And I want, what I haven't studied is how
US
many
Trade
ticks
Representative
above,
Greer
how
on
many
steel
ticks
says they
below.
may
So I'm
want to
just doing
adjust
one and
tariffs
one,
to ease
just a
compliance.
range breakout.
So Greer is currently
Ending the
speaking on
range at
CNBC.
820 at the open, 10 and 40 on the targets, 35 on the stop, starting the range 819.30 with one tick above, one tick below, just as a sim gold open trade.
US Trade Representative Greer says steel and aluminium tariffs will stay in place.
Do I have time to take this picture? Yes. All right, so we have a range. You have a lot of movement on gold. I would think that we're going to get more of a push down on the open.
Order submitted. Order filled.
And it
Nasdaq
hits your
100
first
futures
target.
declines last
Now,
down
I
1%.
would
Gold is
have
now 10 minutes away
moved
from
my
the bottom
stop
down
to
for the weekly
break
Canadian
even
CPI data for the
trading
month of
live.
January.
Okay?
Year over year, forecast
I
2
did
spot
not
4%
move the stop
unchanged
to
from
break
prior,
even just
with a
because
range
I
of 2
wasn't
spot 5 to
thinking.
2 spot 3% expected. Month over month, forecast 0 spot
It hit
1%
the
on
first
the final
target,
minus
so
0
you
spot 3,
got
with a range of 0 spot 2
$100
to
bucks,
0% expected. Bank of Canada's
and
core
you'd be
CPI year
stopped
over year
because it
for
would
prior
have
of 2 spot
reversed.
8%, month over
So you
month
would have had
prior
about an
minus 0 spot
$80
4%.
profit.
The Canadian CPI median
If you didn't
forecast
move your
2.5%,
stop,
unchanged from the prior.
you're going to
The trend
lose
forecast
350
2.6%
after
from the prior
making about
2.7%,
100.
Order filled.
and the common 0 prior
So
2.8%.
sometimes it's
Canadian
very
core CPI
important
month over month,
to
prior
move your
read of
stop.
0.2%. We also get the Canadian wholesale sales.
And I don't know that the
forecast
range is the
2.1%,
best setup for
from the prior
this
minus
event.
1.8%.
Because look,
From the US, we get the New York Fed manufacturing
maybe it's a
forecast
trap
at
trade.
6.2 on the prior 7.7.
Maybe it's a darn trap trade. Anyway, that's called gathering information. That's all I did was gather info on the gold open. That was a range trade. And it gave you your first target. And showing the setup before I erase it, had we used target one stop move and made it BE -3, you would have made about 40 bucks on the range because it would have hit your first target of 10 ticks and reversed. All right. Now, gold, I'm going to put up micro gold because gold is so volatile today. 0.426. Just as we watch Canada, I'm going to have a micro gold reverse continue. So I'm going to convert my gold reverse continue. I'll trade 2 contracts. I'll still go for 35 ticks, but I'll double my stop. It's $1 a tick. It's $1 a tick. And I'll trade that in a prop account, one of my small ones. And it's labeled MGC reverse continue. All right. And I don't really expect a big gold
Press
move
TV,
on Canada.
Iran US talks are expected to continue in the near future.
And then I was watching the magnet on gold. So I'm going to update that for micro gold. And I'll do a position 1 is a 1, a position 2 is a 1. Target 1 is -3, target 2 is 15. And I'll make the stop 75. And again, I'm really just watching signals with the magnet. And I'll make sure it's labeled MGC. And we'll do that in the same account. I won't trade them at the same time. Calvin, I don't do the silver trade. Are you asking the other guys? Looking at Canada CPI. Last month, we had little bit bigger tiers,
In 5 minutes' time now, at the bottom of the hour, we get the Canadian
and we
CPI
used
data
pretty
for
big
January.
tiers.
Year over year,
We
forecast
used 18 and
2.4% on the
32.
prior
One of those
2.4,
instruments
with a
that
range of
also
2.5 to 2.3%.
suffers from poor
Month over month,
liquidity. It
forecast
can.
0.1% on
So
the prior
the
minus
right side of
0.2%,
the
with a range of 0.2 to 0% expected. Bank
so
of Canada's
here's
core
Canada
CPI year over year,
CPI.
prior read of 2.8%,
and
month,
it
prior
only
moved
moved
-0.4%.
8
The Canadian
ticks.
CPI median forecast at 2.5%, unchanged from the prior. The trim forecast 2.6% from the prior 2.7%. Common
One
at a prior
small
read of
danger of
2.8%.
Canada
The new
CPI is it
Canadian core
has
CPI
been a
month over month
breakout
saw
at
a prior read of
times.
0.2%.
It has been a
We also get
breakout.
the Canadian wholesale sales
We
for the
also
12th month of
have
December,
New
forecast
York
2.1%
Empire
on the prior
State at 8:30.
-1.8%, as well as the New York Fed manufacturing.
Empire
The
State
New York Fed
Manufacturing
manufacturing is
is New
data for
York
February, where the
Fed.
forecast is
They call it
6.2
Fed
on the prior
Manufacturing.
7.7.
So look, you could set up a breakout on that report. You could set up a random breakout. Empire Fed, Empire State, never been a report that had any consistency ever. Almost always trades with something else. And it's just not worth putting the time into it, truthfully. You could put a breakout on it, might work today, but it's not going to trade by itself. Probably the next time it trades, it's going to trade with a more important news report and it's going to be overshadowed. That's what happens with Empire State. It's almost always overshadowed by something else. That is insane, Francis. But look at what's going on with prop accounts. Apex is not even allowing silver, gold, micro gold, unless they changed it yesterday. They're not even allowing people to trade micro gold. It's silly. I think it's silly. That's my personal opinion. It's my personal opinion. My personal opinion. I mean, prop accounts not allowing uh, gold, micro gold, bonds, corn. I mean, come on. And changing it in the middle. If you signed up and at the time you signed up you were allowed to trade gold, you should be allowed to trade gold until that account is expired or blown up or passes the eval. But they're not regulated, so they can do what they want pretty much.
1 minute remaining. I'll lead with the Canadian CPI year over year.
Okay, Canada CPI. Is it going to be higher? I don't know. Nitin, I'd say there's been a change in volatility. Maybe it's temporary because looking at gold today, down 100. Was silver lame today? Okay, our brackets are going to come in 5
10 seconds.
seconds. Here come the brackets.
Order submitted.
Shrink it. Here come the judge.
2.3%.
No fill, folks. This is a no trade.
2.4%.
Probably, this is a
0%,
trade you just want to
0%,
cancel.
which is lower than forecast. 0.1%. Canadian
It's like a
wholesale
5
sales
tick
month over month,
move.
2%,
It's like a 5
2%,
tick move.
which is
I don't
lower
want to
than
let
forecast,
it fill
2.1%.
short because
New
we
York Fed
might get stuck
manufacturing
in a
7.1,
trend. No, you know
7.1,
what?
higher than
What
forecast.
I don't want it to fill us long because we might get stuck
Order
in a
Canada
canceled.
short
CPI month over
trend.
month at 0.2%
The
to
trend is short.
0.2%,
So when you have
and
so
year over
small a
year at
move,
2.6%
you're
to
better off not
0.6%.
trading the trap trade. It's just not worth trading. It's not worth trading. You could let it fill. It might work, it might not. But the truth is, when you don't have a good move, that's when you don't really want to trade it. You want to take a trap trade when it has a good move so that you have something to reverse. We have nothing to reverse. What do we got? What do we got? 9 ticks. Tops. Tops. It's not a trade. It's just not a trade. All right? And it's at the low. It's at the low. Don't be a schmo. Don't trade at the low. No, it's not true. If that were true, that'd be a good saying. Don't be a schmo. Don't trade at the low. But we trade at the lows all the time. A lot of times you have to reverse the low. See, even if there is a reverse, look how tight the range is between the high and the low. It's a tremendously tight range. Before the trade,
We
it
have
was
posted
only
out the Canadian
32
CPI January
ticks.
report on the feed for those
It's a
interested.
tiny, tiny little range. Now, the news was very close to expected also. It was not very dramatic news. Not very dramatic news. All right. Now, micro gold, I was not watching gold at the exact moment of Empire State. It was a much higher number than expected. A much higher number normally would push gold to the downside. But I really do believe it was, you know what, I'm going to take it back. It was higher than expected, not much higher than expected. Higher than expected. Not much higher. All right. So look, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Yeah, it's a really funny picture, Calvin. I saw that on your Facebook. It's a funny picture. I think I saw that on your Facebook. That must be where I saw it. Uh, so what I was saying is you just look at where price is. This is a no trade. Absolutely canceled correctly. Now gold, I wasn't watching. So did gold pop up first on ADP week on Empire State? It was 20 ticks, right? I would have had about a 15 tick bracket for Empire State, maybe 20, maybe. So if you didn't get filled, let's look at the video and watch gold, and that'll answer the question immediately. So let me render the video. Only takes a minute. So we got Canada CPI, Empire State. So if we go over to Empire State on this video, and we're just watching. So here's gold on Empire State, micro gold. Now the news is out. Okay, so virtually no movement to the upside. So it would have been a good short. It would have been a good short. Did it fit the profile of the news? The news was better than expected. In theory, that would make gold go down. But you're looking at gold that's down over $109. Do you think it's moving On Empire State News, I don't. I do not think it's moving on Empire State News because look, it's just chopping around for a while after the news comes out. Then gold starts going on its merry way to continue its daily downward trend. It's not a news trade, in my opinion. All right? It's not a news trade. I'm posting our webinar, the challenge links, anybody who wants it. All right? Graybeard, how are you? Graybeard is in the house. Our only YouTube loyal watcher. Our only YouTube loyal watcher. I am a complete failure. It's very frustrating to be a complete failure. Maybe if I stream naked, I can get some viewers. Maybe not. That might be worse. That might be worse. All right, everybody. So here's the deal. Here's the dealio, or the Ray Dalio. We're not doing the oil open. Nobody wants to do it anymore because it's kind of a very difficult, inconsistent trade. Ironically, yesterday Chantal did it, and it hit both targets. So I'm watching a new magnet signals update. So if people want to hang around, I'm going to hang around. I'll hang around. Let me just look at the schedule before I make this decision. I'll hang around till the market open. All right? I'll hang around till the market open. But I'm going to take a 5-minute break starting now. Oil has rolled over. Okay? Oil has rolled over. So it's 04 now. Iran is messing around in the Strait of Hormuz. So price had been going up. I see there was a little bit of a drop here at 820. I believe that's about when those US-Iran talks ended. Overnight oil had been relatively bullish. But I'll be back in 5 minutes. I'll trade it with one contract, and I'll show everybody how I would trade it with one contract. Let me start the video so I don't forget to start the video. And we'll do the market opens. We'll stream it. And anybody is welcome to stay, of course. Let me just do it right. I mean, I don't really have anywhere to go this morning. I always have stuff to do, but we all have stuff to do. All of our lives are important. Welcome everyone to the Pro Trader and Plus, the oil open and the US market open. My name is Lee Goldstein, the trading director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember, all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. Okay, I'll be back in 3 minutes. Oil is CL0426. CL0426. I'm taking my mic with me. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm just heating up the coffee. That's it. All right, mic check. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Let me know. I assume everybody could hear me. All right. So we know that this oil trade has not been trading well. All right. We know it. So if you're going to trade it, you're trading it at your own risk. It's not an authorized trade anymore because I don't have trade room scheduled for it. It seems to be working at least 50-50 though. Um, so trade it at your own risk, which everything is a trade at your own risk anyway, right? Trading is trade at your own risk. So I've got a bunch of prop accounts that I've been watching. I've got one that blew up a while ago that's going to be back tomorrow. That'll be nice to get. I think it's number 36 is coming back tomorrow. And then a couple of weeks later is 32. I have no interest in paying uh, to reset them because I have enough other accounts. So I'll use an account that's a tiny bit negative on oil. All right. Number 37 is a little bit negative from the day that I bought it. So the oil setup has been a range. Okay. It's been a range trade. It has been a range trade. So I'm going to load the template. I'll put the breakout on range, but I'm going to load the template. Load. And it's called Oil New Open Range. I'm sure that's what we called it. Oil New Open Range. And here it is. I'm going to right click it and rename it to the correct date. Today is the 17th. When I load it, it saves it. So we are going to start the range at 8:59. Starting the range at 8:59. One tick above the range, one tick below the range. Show the range graphics on the chart. All right. Everybody understands that below that you have the range box color. That just, you could decide what color you want your range to be. The thickness of the range lines. Okay. Below that, it has to do with other trades that we don't usually use. All right. We're going to end the range at 9:0040, and I'm trying to decide if I want to trade two contracts or just one with this report and keep the stop at 15. It's a prop account. I've got a new one coming back tomorrow. I'm going to trade it our original way. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1, target 1 is 8, target 2 is 20. BE minus 4 on the target 1 stop move, and the stop loss is 15. And that's the setup. I'm also going to set up a reverse continue. Chantal, good morning. How are you here? Is your computer, what's up with the computer? So I gave Chantal a computer last year and now it's broken. I feel so terrible. I guess I gave her a bad computer. I think trying without the third monitor. Why do you think that might be part of the problem? Just curious. I'm going to put a reverse continuation oil on the chart. Position 1 is a 1. Target 1 is 20. The stop is 20. That's my reverse continuation.
Iran's Foreign Minister Araghchi says we've reached an understanding on the main principles with the US.
And we're going to call it
WTI seeing some
CL
weakness here as again Iran's Foreign Minister says
reverse
we've reached an
continue.
understanding on the main principles with the US.
There's just been an announcement by Iran about reaching an agreement with the US, so I'm not going to trade oil this morning. It's just too news oriented right now, so I'm not going to, certainly not going to trade two contracts. I don't have the interest. That's news that was just announced.
Iran's Foreign Minister says the two parties will work on potential agreement documents and exchange them.
We've reached an understanding on main principles with the US, Iran's foreign minister. So that's why that just
Ted
happened.
Goolsbee on CNBC now says recent headline inflation was partly pulled down due to base effects. And Iran's foreign minister says the two parties still have topics on which they still need to work.
So you have to decide. I mean, the thing is, this makes trading
Fed Goolsbee
an
says
instrument
services
like
inflation is
oil.
not
This
end.
makes trading for, half an hour have extra
Canadian dollar weakens
risk
to an
and
8-day low for the
volatility.
US dollar after the inflation data. The loonie down around spot 2%.
So, you have to decide. Do you want to allow a
Iran's
long
Foreign Minister
fill?
Araghchi says we have had serious constructive talks with the US.
I probably would not want a long fill on oil this morning because of this. No matter what, I'm reducing my number of contracts to just one. All right. Reducing to just one. I still have my reverse continue on. 20 tick target, 20 tick stop.
So again, oil prices quickly fell to session lows. That's Brent down around
And then
1.9%. As Iran's Foreign Minister Araghchi
I
says
think
we reached a general agreement on a set of principles
the
with
range
the US.
trade becomes a total random risk trade. If the range gets broken, my first target, I'm going to make 40 ticks. 40 ticks. If the market moves 30 ticks, I'm going to move my stop to 33.
Fed Goolsbee says several
30
more
and
rate cuts
33.
ahead if inflation heads down.
So watching oil. Now remember, you have a reverse continue. You could have chased that. Probably we're now at the bottom of the move. We're probably at the bottom of the move. Yeah, I would recommend. I agree with Chantal. I mean, I have one contract on, but it's total random trading now. It's not oil's regular behavior. We're trading oil's regular behavior. So don't you think you're better off not trading it I mean, because you're trading random price action now. News price action. TJ, we did vote not to trade it. I just happened to be here watching news signals. So I explained to everybody that I was watching signals.
Fed's
And
Goolsby says, I see 3% as a loose target for the neutral rate.
that it's not a scheduled trade. It did happen to hit both targets yesterday, which kind of drives me crazy. But now, honestly, look, the price is calming down because when you make a new low like that, of course, it's eventually going to calm down and pull off the low.
Fed's Goolsby says, I want to see evidence that inflation's headed back to 2%.
Looking at an extra chart, the markets were quite down this morning, and they've had a nice little bit of a pop on that news, and now a 50% retrace from the news. I'll keep the NQ on the side here. Gold, I would expect to make this new low. I really would expect gold to test the low of the day.
Iran's
It's
Foreign
a
Minister
little bit
Araghchi says
far.
Iran and the US have clearer paths to move forward.
It's like
And Fed's Goolsby says
600
service
ticks
inflation is
away.
not tame.
No, 300, sorry. 300 ticks away. I'm tempted to take a short on gold just as
Order
a
submitted.
scalp. Okay, I'm in profit. See if it may not test the low now, but it's gonna test that low. So I'll keep scalping. Now, if it reverses here, I'll still make 80, 90 bucks. Oh, and I'm going to turn off my oil
Iran's Foreign
trade.
Minister Araghchi says good progress on talks with the US.
I didn't think it would go this far, this fast, people. Did not think it would go this far, this fast. Now, you could have done that as a magnet, but I did the reverse continue because it's quick and dirty.
Order filled.
Not a bad trade. $356 on micros. Okay? 356 on micros. I'll take it. For some people, that's the only trade they need all day. Right? For some people, it's the only trade you need all day. Empire State is
Iran's
nothing.
Foreign Minister Araghchi
Roz,
says state of the next round of US talks have not yet been
it didn't
decided.
move on the news, but gold's been moving down. And what's happening here is you've got Iran making an announcement, turning off my range trade. Iran making an announcement that
Effective
they've
Fed funds rate
reached an
3.64%
understanding with the
February
U.S.
13th.
on
Unchanged.
main principles, so it's causing all this market volatility. Nitin, I'm on the border of signing up for Lucid. Um, what account should I sign up for? Is there anything special I need to do? Do I just sign up for? They had something called Flex accounts,
ECB bond
if I
holdings in
remember
the
correctly. Am I
PEPP are at
thinking of Lucid?
1.41 trillion euros as of last
Do
week.
I need
We settled
Flex or do I just
1.84
sign up
trillion
for
euros
whatever's
in
on
public
sale?
sector bond purchases and settled 243.2 billion euros in corporate sector bond purchases.
Yeah, I think it's good news if we don't have to have another war from a warmongering president. We don't need another war. Flex is the best? Okay. So you'll see, I believe we are going to test that low. It was 337 ticks away from where we
And the
were.
ECB says forex
And
reserves rose
literally,
800 million
gold
euros
has
to a total
done
of
that
323.6 billion
337
euros.
tick test. Right now, it did it like in 5 minutes. It did it in 5 minutes. It would have been an even smarter trade to just put the trade on and let it breathe, and I would have doubled my profit, and it's still going. It should have been done as a magnet. That was the smart way to do it. The magnet might have made you less money because the entry might have been closer to the low, but you can always decide where you want to get filled with the magnet. That's what's nice about magnets. You can decide where you want to get filled. Chantal, are you able to monitor the oil trade and let us know what would have happened? Where do you have to go? I'm guessing oil. So, Nitin, you're back to volatility, right? You're back to volatility. Okay, Chantal, I'll talk to you later. Anyway, the most important piece of news I can give everybody this morning is that Bruce Hornsby has a new record, and the title cut is absolutely spectacular. Spectacular. It's a combination of his old stuff with beautiful choruses and verses combined with his new, very atonal, very modern stuff that he's doing now with a really unusual bridge. It is a beautiful song. Absolutely beautiful song. The first word of the song is Indigo, and I can't remember the rest of the name of the song, but if you're a Bruce Hornsby fan, it is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. Calvin, what's real and it's spectacular? Calvin. You're not a Bruce Hornsby. If you're a Bruce Hornsby fan, then I'm like I would be thunderstruck. Thunderstruck. I don't think that's possible. But for anybody out there that likes music, I love the artists that, in my opinion, have the highest level of musical integrity throughout their careers. Bruce Hornsby is at the highest pinnacle of musical integrity. You know, someone who doesn't sell out, someone who does what their artistic direction tells them to do, regardless of money. And Bruce Hornsby has had an unbelievably creative career, and he wrote amazingly iconic songs on top of it all. Now, some people would say that the best he ever did was his first three records, Mandolin Rain, The Way It Is. Actually, the Tupac version of The Way It Is absolutely spectacular also. But I think The Way It Is one of the most covered songs in history, in his musical history, other than a couple of Beatles tunes. It's up there, and I think it's in the top five. But he wrote one of my all-time favorite, Mandolin Rain is unbelievably beautiful. The Way It Is, of course, is what he'll forever be known, will always be his legacy. But the Don Henley song that he wrote with Don Henley is one of the most beautiful songs he ever wrote, and I can't remember the name of it right now. What's the Bruce Hornsby Don Henley song? It's really famous. Not Boys of Summer. It was I can't think of the name. Did you ever hear Sounds of Silence, Roz, by Disturbed? It's the most intense, crazy version. It's an amazing version of Sounds of Silence. Oh my God. It's so good. It's so good. So good. It's almost as good as that long signal we got on Microgold after the trade. Look at that signal, folks. Wow. That was a perfect signal. That was really a good one. I really think that myself and the programmer have finally. There's always going to be bad signals. There's no way around it. But I think he finally heard me. And the final version, which we're looking at, is still never going to be the final version. Signals will get updated regularly. And if unfortunately the programmer probably thinks he's done dealing with me, he's gonna get sick when I tell him that we're gonna work on signals forever. But frankly, if he gets paid, he doesn't really care. Bruce Hornsby, let's look it up and then we'll go over to the NQ for the market open. Music is more important than trading. Bruce Hornsby, Don Henley. I can't believe I can't remember the song. Oh, End of the Innocents. One of the most beautiful songs ever written. Really, really great song. I don't know if anybody saw Don Henley's interview. He gave a pretty long interview last week. It was pretty interesting. He's not a very well liked person. And he's not a very well liked person. Hang on, folks. Hang on. Oh, Graybeard, you had it. I didn't see you type it in, Gray. You might have typed it in before I looked it up. So thanks for that. Right here, boss. Hang on, folks. All right, all right, all right. Let's start from scratch. We've got the market open coming up. So now I did not trade oil. All right, we did not take an oil trade. Would it have filled long? I'm not positive without testing it. All right, got to tell everybody I have to test it to be sure. If anybody took it, you can tell me what would have happened. So we look at the YM on our market open. All right, that's what we look at. What the frick? That might have been my line from uh, just a line. That may not be from software. That might have been me. Okay, that's what I was looking at. All right, so we got NQ, MNQ. So we've been trading MNQ on the market opens. We've been watching the YM on the market opens. So now you do have news that came out of the Middle East. It made the market pop. It did pull back 65%, it looks like. I'll put a YM reverse continue on the chart, which we always do in the morning. YM reverse continue, 35 tick target, 35 tick stop. Label it YM reverse continue. Apply it, okay it. So we have our YM. And then we have a magnet YM. Whoops, got to do it the right way. High of day, low of day. We're nicely in the middle of both. Target 1 is default at -3. Target 2 is 1 tick, 10 ticks, 40 tick stop. Labeling YM magnet. Same account as my reverse continue. I want to be entered above the PP. And then on the short side, On the short side, I'm selling at 68. About a 20 tick target on the short side. All right, then we've got MNQ market open on the left. Markets are down this morning still. Pretty negative. NQ, MNQ, I like to put them in points on net change display. Because that's the way they always talk about the NQ. It's down 153 points. It's a pretty negative day. And it's up quite a bit from what it was because of the Iran news. I'll put a reverse continue. I'll put a couple of contracts, reverse continue. MNQ. 40 tick target, 75 stop. It's just a discretionary trade, trading it in our funded MNQ open account, labeling it MNQ reverse continue.
The White House backs the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act.
And then make sure that the chart trader is on that particular account. It's up $49. I did trade yesterday's market open for a small profit. Hit the first target and reversed. What a surprise. And then I'll set up my regular trade. The breakout. We have a template. I'll load the template. MNQ new open. That's what we call it.
ECB's Vucic, responding to questions from EU lawmakers, says the definition of medium term depends on shock ECB faces.
MNQ new open. Right click it. We'll date it the 17th. Today's date. Load it. And we've got a trigger time of 9:29:59. Bracket of 40. Targets at 35 and 100. Going to break even if it hits my first target. 100 and a quarter on the stop. All right, folks. Let me go over this trade one more time. 9:29:59 on the trigger. Bracket of 40. Targets of 35 and 100. Stop I'm using is 125. I'm trading MNQ. Break even on my target one stop move. It's labeled and I'm trading it in my market open funded account. Now, before I choose the account, I'm putting it back on sim for a minute, putting the charts on sim after I set the time to 0. I just want to look at the brackets for trade management and turn off the vertical line on entry. Show vertical line on entry is off. All right. Charts on sim. I think we're going up
Order submitted. Order
this
canceled.
morning. That's what I believe. This is going to be a market up. But I'm not trading it that way, but I'm just trading it. All right. 929.59. And I'll put it on my funded account. I'm going to try to be ready to expand my target. I think we're going to get a good, nice, solid open this morning. And you know what that means. All hands on deck. Watch out below.
German Economy Ministry official on the Schwedt refinery says we are in very close and constructive dialogue with the US authorities on the
Goldstein is
extension of the
thinking.
OFAC general license for Rosneft Deutschland.
I cannot imagine living in a
Iran's Foreign
place
Ministry
where
argued that
every
explicit
minute the
reference to
weather
the
could
possible
change
use
so
of force by
much.
the United States must be brought to an immediate and unconditional end.
Calvin, I love that movie. That was a great, it was a great movie. It was a great movie, Twister. The original was fabulous. It's just everything about it was fun. It was so much fun. The new one stunk. I mean, most sequels stink. Most sequels are a money grab. But there are exceptions. I mean, Godfather 1, 2, Godfather 3 was a piece of trash. Um, the only sequel that had more than one that were phenomenal, there's only one that I can think of. Exactly. Well, did they remake it or was it a different movie? Was Twisters a different movie or was it a remake? I didn't really pay enough attention to it. It was just boring. The only sequels, in my opinion, that were worth making, I mean, there's a few, but the best sequels, Back to the Future, 1, 2, and 3, they're all great. All three of them are great. They are truly great movies. All of them enjoyable. Now, some people would argue Star Wars 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Some people would argue there's others. Star Wars, I gotta agree, good sequels. Um, I guess, yeah, people loved Aliens. I didn't. I didn't. I just thought Alien was so good that the original, they should have just left it alone. Now, Predator, the second Predator, is actually the best Predator. So you have to look at that. The first Predator was very low. No, I'm not thinking Predator. What was the Schwarzenegger? I'll be back. Terminator. Terminator 2 is the best and only Terminator worth its weight. Terminator 1 is good, but it's very low budget and it suffers from some real issues, but Terminator 2 really is the Terminator movie. But it is a sequel. You got to consider it a sequel. Yep, Terminator 2 was phenomenal. It was great. It was great. Um, Now they never tried to make a sequel. RoboCop suffered. Number 2 was fun, but nothing like the first. And 3 was a joke. It was pathetic. Um, but just having somebody in the movie named Dick Johnson, that alone is high comedy. And there is I think one of the cops, his name is Dick Johnson in RoboCop, and that's pretty funny. What else? What other sequels? Now we're just waiting for the market to open, so That's why we're chatting. We set the trades up. Our trades are set up. We've got magnets on the YM, default target on the first position, 10 tick target on the second position. We have a breakout on the MNQ NQ on the open, a 40 bracket, 35 and 100 on our targets. Might be 40 and 100 on the targets. I'm expecting a move up on the open. Let's see if I'm right. My setup is the same. I'm not trading for what I think. I generally don't trade for what I think. Jaws is definitely one of the greatest movies ever made. Graybeard, 100% agree. Um, we're gonna need a bigger boat. I mean, iconic, iconic. Jaws 2 was watchable. It was fun. It was watchable. But how can you do better than Jaws? Jaws was so good. So good. I'm not sure it holds up that well if you watch it now. MNQ bracket, Arthur, I'm using 40. 40. I think
Around 12 minutes or so, the new window of opportunity has
the
opened, and
shark
we are
looks
hopeful
pretty
that
fake
negotiations will lead to a
these days.
sustainable and negotiated solution.
I just downloaded it because I think it's what, the 30th or 50th anniversary. I forget. It was a big anniversary for the original. I don't remember if it was 30 years or 50. It must be 50, right? But it's such a fun movie. And Roy Scheider was so good. Who's the other guy? The guy they hire? He's really famous. I can't remember the other guy. Very famous Broadway kind of actor. So Graybeard saying Jaws was incredible. I sail and I had issues with sharks. Understandable. Maybe the market's going to sell off. What's the name of the guy that they hire? I forget the actor. I can't remember his name. He was really, really famous. Richard Dreyfuss was the scientist. Roy Scheider was the cop. I forget his wife's name. She was great. Robert Shaw, thank you. Robert Shaw. Robert Shaw was great. All right. But what a great movie. They make great movies today. That's one thing I will say. There are great movies being made. You have to search for them. You do have to search for them. She was great. Lori Ann Gray. I really don't know her in anything else, but she was great in Jaws.
1 minute now until we get the market on open imbalance.
All right, we're waiting now for the market to open.
10 seconds.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order filled.
Market on open imbalance. S&P 500.
Order filled.
All right,
Side
so
of
it was
100
just a
and at
one
58 million.
target.
Nasdaq 100 flat.
YM
Dow
looks
30,
like it's
buy side
bursting
just
up.
5 million. Mag 7 a sell side of 8 million.
Order submitted.
Oh, I did something I shouldn't have done.
Order filled.
All right, I think we'll get our test of the high on the YM. I'm trading in my funded
Order
account.
filled.
Bingo. 300 on the YM. I did not have it in auto mode, so I quickly put it in auto mode. It entered the trade, and the YM burst up. The MNQ kind of did a whipsaw, but the kind of whipsaw that gives you a profit on your first target, so it's not a problem. Certainly on the MNQ, that's what it did. YM was perfect. Perfect magnet. Absolutely perfect. Traded that in our funded account. So I think we made about 800 bucks on this morning's opens. Probably nowhere near what Nitin made. James, Jiminy Cricket. My God. Every day you have frozen orders. Every day. Did anybody else have frozen orders on the RTY? Anyone else have frozen RTYs? No on TJ. Yes. Yes um, on Roz's had it on Bullinox. James, I'm wondering if you should. I mean, I'm gonna try a Lucid account based on Nitin's recommendations, and just looking at the research, it looks like they're a good company. Maybe just try one Lucid account and see if you get the same problems, because you could use Tradeovate. You can sign up Lucid, Tradeovate, and not use Rhythmic. And it may make the whole difference in the world. Sander, nice trade. Nice trade. MNQ. Nitin, in general, you have not had problems with data freezing in Lucid, is that correct? All right. So, Nitin, I've been thinking about this for a long time. What kind of name is Nitin? Where's your family from? It's such an unusual name. Is that your regular, real first name? Is it a shortcut name? Like, is your real name Nitninsky or something like that? Ah, okay. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Got it. Okay. Am I pronouncing it right? Nitin, right? Nitin. I kind of like Nitninsky. I think if I have another kid, that's what I'm going to name my kid. Nitninsky, Nitninsky, Nininsky, Naninsky, Naninsky Goldstein. That would be a good name to give somebody because it would be very easy to pronounce for people. Hey, Nitin, I have the same problem. People call me Lay, Leg. Liga, Liga, League. I can't tell you how many names I've been called. Francis, what happened on the YM? It entered long. What size stop? Francis, what size stop on the YM? A lot of price movement. A lot of price movement after the open. A lot of volatility, everyone. The YM did a big reversal from the high. All right, I'm just waiting on everyone else to check in. So my YM, I entered differently than Francis. Nin, you're trading gold. What's your gold setup at the open? What setup are you using on gold at the open? It looks like MNQ wants to make a new high. So Francis, it should still, when you uncheck the magnet and look at the strategy, you should see the stop loss. Mine is 40. Mine is 40. I'm wondering if you used a much smaller stop by accident. Because if it would have been 40, it would have been what you would have used, it might have been 40, because that would be 200, close to what it hit you with. One contract, yep, that's what I was thinking. Now my entry, I'm going to check my entry because I did not enter the same way. I forgot to put my magnet on auto. So my entry was a second later. And that could have affected whether it was a winner or not. Let me look and see if I could figure out what my entry was. So if I remove everything, it'll probably show me. I can look at the video too. I'm just curious. All right, so my entry, Francis, was 642. 642. It's hard for me to read yours. So for some reason, you got entered way higher than me. You got a much worse fill than I did. Now, it might be, I'm going to run the video. Let's just see what happened. Nitin, thanks. Really appreciate that. Francis, let me show you the video on my trade. Give me a minute. Bear with me, folks. I'm just getting the video ready. 1 minute. All right. So, Francis, as I was saying, I forgot to turn my auto on. So my fill would have been slower. It might have been slower than yours. I was entered 642. Yes, so you would have been filled higher. You would have been filled higher. But even still, I'll tell you truth on these opens. Going forward, I would use a bigger stop. I think 40 is too small. What happened with me is I got lucky. I definitely got lucky by entering late. See, I forgot I did not have my auto on. If it would have been on, I would have been filled higher. But because I pressed it late, I got filled a little bit lower. So when it pulled back, I didn't get stopped. That's what happened. That's what happened. But even still, I'm struggling to see why you got stopped. What did you determine if your stop has been definitely 40 on that? That's my question. Did you figure out what your stop was on that? It was 40. Okay. I think if I was going to trade NQ, one contract on the open, I'm actually thinking an 80 tick stop. And I think 60, 65 on the YM, especially with one contract, might make way more sense than 40 going forward, especially in this volatility. This volatility is crazy. It's really intense. We're just seeing very, very big moves. Bigger brackets. I mean, everything. Everything. All right. Everybody, we'll be back. Graybeard, thanks for joining with us. Everybody on YouTube, we're going to close down now because we're leaving. So thanks for watching on YouTube, and we'll see everybody tomorrow on the stream. So everybody on YouTube, thank you for joining. Hit the notification bell so you know the next time we're streaming. All right? And we'll see you tomorrow.